That's Boomerang, the band Adriana Kaegi formed with Cheryl Poirier and Perry Lister, doing These Boots Were Made for Walking. Adriana is my guest on Revenge of the 80s Radio. She's also a co-founder of Kid Creole and the Coconuts. We mentioned the documentary on the band, Me and My Coconuts, earlier in the interview. You completed it in December. For the documentary, you took bits of several videos from behind the scenes. Some fun, others more telling of the band's story, and put them together with commentary and performance footage. What made you want to tell that story?
In the very early 80s, I bought one of the first consumer video cameras. It was a big backpack on the side. It was like a big thing to have to schlep around. And I started documenting, knowing that what I was living was something very special, definitely worth filming. And I always knew one day I would make a documentary. As technology advanced, I would always buy the next best camera. So 4 years ago, I woke up and I said, this is it. I need to do this documentary now. Because the 80s are coming back and technology was advanced that I could digitize all these VHS copies, and I reached out to the various broadcast companies who had live footage of ours and compiled all the footage, like 200 hours of footage. And I learned how to edit and did a rough edit, and then I asked Vivian Goldman to help me out with it. And where in the end it's not a narrative, it's a very casual story of the two of us sitting together, and she is kind of interviewing me. You'll see it's done very out of the box, very different and entertaining. And she introduced me to Pete Shelton, a seasoned music video editor, and he really put the story together. We're all very thrilled with the end result of the movie, and we can't wait to share it with the audience.
When's it coming out?
Not sure, because we're just now putting it to market, so we don't know yet. But we're hoping definitely this year. We just don't know a date yet.
Listeners should know that a trailer is available. You can get that on YouTube. It'll also be on my site, revengeofthe80sradio.com, and it's on the documentary site, kidcreoleandmycoconuts.com. What did you want the world to know about you specifically through Me and My Coconuts, Adriana?
What do I want the world to know? The truth of what really happened. It's funny because when I showed the film to Cody Mundi, that's exactly what he said. Wow, you really captured the truth. A lot of people write their memoirs down. I decided to make my memoirs into a film. And all I'm doing is I'm telling the story. I'm telling the truth. And for those people who are interested. Because, as you said earlier, there's so much information about us out there, and not all of it is correct. And it would just be nice to have somebody from the inside telling the truth, and nothing but the truth, which isn't always pretty, but it's certainly always very entertaining.
Now, I noticed that some of the band members, including Darnell, have given it rave reviews.
Oh, everybody loves it, yeah.
And you can find those reviews on the documentary's website, kidcreoleandmycoconuts.com. I want to get to this, too. You work with a diverse list of musicians, ranging from U2 to Toa Tay. What would you say was some of your favorite musical projects over your years in the business?
I love doing all of it, because that's what I do. That's what I love doing. I think the most memorable one, besides, of course, Kid Creole, would be Singing Back Up with U2. And that story even ended up in their coffee table book.
The story, huh?
There's a story, and I'm going to keep that a secret for now.
But the story can be found in the documentary.
It can be found in the documentary, and it can also be read in the U2 coffee table book.
Once again, kidcreoleandmycoconuts.com. That's where to find the documentary and updates on when that's coming out. With U2, you sang Back Up in the War album.
Yes.
Okay.
We sang on 2 songs on the War album.
I should also note that these days you give back as a performance coach for young musicians at the nonprofit Lagone Music School in Elmsford, New York.
Yes, that is something I do to give back. I teach young bands or young musicians the art of performing, the basically responsibility a musician has when they step on stage, to be entertaining, to be engaging with the audience. Because otherwise people would stay home and listen to their music if they go on stage and they look at their guitars the whole show. It's not very thrilling for the eye. I also taught at NYU the other day, and that was very fun. I was invited by Professor Vivian Goldman, who teaches there, and the students were very interested about the 80s. And
how can you not be interested in the 80s, right?
yeah, I guess so. Well, it's funny. I still go out, right? But when I go out to these clubs, even fashion shows, parties, they always play 80s music.
How can you blame them?
It's great. No, it's just weird. Like, I'm still out and it's still playing the same music. Like, no time has changed.
There are several artists over the 80s that have been putting out new music over the last many years. As a matter of fact, Kid Creole has an album coming out soon, right?
Yes, he has a compilation coming out April and a brand new album coming out this summer. And he's also currently on the Here and Now tour, and they're playing Wembley Stadium in London late May, followed by the Island Records 50th anniversary on May 26th in London as well.
Now, Adriana, I brought you on the show because I want to talk about Tag. That's your new album. Now, from what I've heard of it so far on your MySpace page, it features some interesting instrumentation on some of the tracks.
There's quite some songs that have lyrics and that I sing that I'm very proud of. There is one instrumental track called International Intrigue, which is a lot of fun. And basically the more instrumental tracks on the album were the later tracks that I wrote and produced because they came from me being a video blogger. So when I go out and I video blog, I usually write music to the video. And everybody used to send me back feedback saying, I really like the music. I really like the music. So I figured, wow, if people really like the music, maybe I should then add it onto the album. And that's what I did. I changed it around a bit for the album, of course, because it's different writing something for a 3-minute clip than for, a 6-minute track. But I'm very excited. It's a down-tempo style, chill-out lounge electronica kind of album. And I sing in French, German, Italian, and English. So it's very international. And I hope you like it. I'd love to get your feedback. Again, should be out middle of March.
And as you said before during the interview, you're going to distribute it digitally.
Yes, the album Tag will be distributed digitally to all major online music stores, such as iTunes, eMusic, Amazon, and other more local stores. And the artist's name is Adriana.
It's just Adriana.
Adriana and Tag.
A couple of the tracks can be found on your MySpace. That's myspace.com/Dear Addy. Adriana, we did talk about Kid Creole and the Coconuts influences in the beginning of this conversation, but as a solo artist, who are some of your own musical influences?
Nino Rota, the person who wrote the soundtracks for the Fellini films. Absolutely adore his style of compositions. I grew up with Alice Cooper, believe it or not, because I like his theatrics. Other than that, I love Chet Baker singing. I like anything jazzy, moody, sensual. Sade, Portishead.
What are a couple of your favorites of your new songs and why?
Well, one is called What You Got. I'm very much into doing things organically, whereas when I was with Kid Creole, everything had to be perfectly choreographed and perfectly thought out. And now when I did this recording, and it just kind of happened, it was in a certain atmosphere, and I just pulled the mic out and started recording and did a little edit to it afterwards, and I'm just talking about the vocals. And it just kind of happened, and because of it, it has this fun atmosphere to it. Maybe not the best recording as far as, an engineer would say this isn't the greatest recording in the world, but who cares? It's the ambience that comes across as a lot of fun. And I think that the listeners will also have a smile on their face when they hear it. And it's called What You Got. I sent it to you, by the way.
Thank you.
Another one is It Feels Like When I'm Dreaming. That's a very nice, moody song that has a great hip-hop beat to it. And there is Michael Moore playing a musical saw on it. That sounds very strange, but in a good way. The lyrics are about finding love just when I had given up on it.
We'll also inform people when it comes out on Revenge of the 80s Radio. The album is called Tag. It's Adriana Kaegi's newest studio release. What are some of the things you've not done musically yet, Adriana, that you would like to do?
I'd like to travel the world and record different musical styles from indigenous people and mix that with modern beats, a musical travelogue. In addition to that, I would also want to shoot a video of the indigenous people dancing to create a sort of video log for dance historians.
It'll sort of be a musical project and a Dear Addy production, I suppose, right?
Exactly.
Adriana, your web presence is amazing. You have a lot of sites that people can learn more about your music, find out about Dear Addy, your documentary, Kid Creole and My Coconuts. Give us a list of all your websites.
Well, the best way to find out about all the website is you go to my main site, which is dearaddy.com. And you can find me also from there at reverbnation.com/DearAddy. That's music related, or myspace.com/DearAddy. You can also Twitter me or go to facebook.com/DearAddy. You can join my fan club there. I have a group there. I'm on Bebo, on Vox, just about anywhere. So wherever you are and you want to be my friend, just shoot me an email, and I'd love to talk to you.
Maybe make it real easy and just Google Adriana Kaegi. There we go.
Okay.
Adriana Kaegi, it was a true pleasure to have you on Revenge of the 80s with me today. I appreciate your visit to the show and wish you great success with this new album and all of your projects, Dear Addy and everything else in the future.
Well, thank you so much, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Love to have you on again. Let's play a cut from the new collection. Here's the world radio premiere of Adriana Kaegi's new song, C'est ma vie. And Adriana?
C'est ma vie means it's my life, and I do what I want.
All right. Adriana Kaegi on Revenge of the 80s Radio.